Latin, right? Or whatever language he was using.
Greek,
So
Latin, whatever.
That's the whole point, guys. Sorry, Rob. It doesn't,
Brian,
it doesn't matter what language. Hold on. No. You just made my point. You just made my point for me. Listen, it doesn't matter what language. It's a way of communicating. It's only... Aaron, shut the fuck up.
It doesn't matter what language.
It's only a way of communicating.
If it doesn't matter which language, right? If it doesn't,
it's only a way of communicating. A squared plus B squared equals C squared works in any language, guys. It's just a way of communicating.
No. The proof works in any language. Any language can come up with the same proof.
He just said in English. He's going to put it in English, but he can put it in any language, okay?
It's settled already in reality. It's just an observation of reality. That's all it is.
Exactly. I'm not saying it's not an observation of reality, but it works in any language, Aaron. Okay?
Yeah, the language came second, though. That's all.
It's a way of communicating, bro. This is exactly what Matrix said the other day, and then this is exactly what Lemon said about a few days before that. And then I'm being careful not to step on right the hands fucking topics, and I'm saying that I don't believe electrons, I don't believe photons, I don't believe in gravity and all that, and he still jumps on my ass when I'm trying to make a fucking point, dude.
Okay, this is because you're not keep defaulting to electrons. Forget electrons. I don't know why you keep going back to it. So here's the point. When you say in any language it works, great. That means in math, in English, because math is a language with symbols and words, in math and English. So that means math is not superior. Math is not superior to any other language. Okay? And that's the point I'm trying to make, which you just made.
It's universal.
What do you mean it's universal?
No, not really, because they don't use the same symbols in different languages.
Whoa. You guys have been literally arguing the same point. Same point. It's the same point.
I know. So then, but don't interrupt it. So when you say it's universal, any language is universal if the person learns it, right? If you write down P over V equals F in math and somebody doesn't know that, they'll have no idea what the hell that is. You can't just math and show it to any person and they're going to understand it. That's what universal would mean, right? It's not. Reality is universal. I can wave at somebody, they'll see me wave.
By universal, I mean that formula works in English, and it works in French, and it works in German.
That means it's...
that means that English works in German too. It's just a language.
Yes, that means you can describe reality in any language. And that means if you can describe reality in any language, math does not become special. And that's the point.
Go look up a Chinese formula for the Pythagorean
We had that long
theorem.
silence.
Right?
But yeah, see, they'll agree that math is a language, just like English, but then they'll elevate it in some manner. I don't understand how they do that or why they do that.
Well, this all came
because you
about
can't do formulas in French or German.
Newton's laws, right? You know,
that's the difference. But with the numbers, you are able to derive these beautiful formulas.
No, you're not. What is a formula? Again, it's just a bunch of symbols. It's just a bunch of
formation. It's a formation of language. That's all it is.
You can make a formula in English. You can write an English formula, bro. Math does not have any superiority over any other language. You're bowlers. Bowlers give math special status. I don't know why you guys do it too. You agree it's a language. You have reality, and then you have the words that come out of your mouth to describe it. Math, which is just words coming out of your mouth, doesn't take on some kind of Pruviacic ability just because it's numbers and symbols, man. This is crazy talk.
Reality always came first. Regardless of what language you put behind it, whatever society you're within to talk about this language, reality always came first, right? So, point blank, reality is the ultimate language, right? The universal language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All languages are open to interpretation. All languages, even mathematics, are open to interpretation.
Exactly, because one pile of sand plus one pile of sand equals one bigger pile of sand, not two piles of sand. You've already combined them. So now mathematically, 1 + 1 = 1. No, doesn't. But you can make it.
Yeah, well,
this is why it's not approved.
With math too, you have different maths. You have like bomb dash, they call it, which is one way of operating stuff. Pascal. You have reverse Polish notation. You have math for any type of needs that you want to fill. It's a tool and a toy, but it's not reality.
It's not a tool, it's a language. A tool is a chisel.
You can use numbers in mathematics as a tool. If you don't think that's correct, well, please correct me.
Yeah, he did.
I use them as tools all the time. Do you think
language is a tool? It's a man-made thing to communicate.
Can I ask a question?
It's made to communicate.
So we have authorities.
Build me a pond.
Formulas,
right?
We have authorities.
The only tool you have is mathematics to build a pond. Go.
We have authorities on languages like English and math and all this stuff, right? We have authorities.
Well, that doesn't
on all
make
these
sense
formulas,
either,
right?
though, because you could say the only tool you have to make a pond is a nail. Go. Well, you're still not going to be able to accomplish it.
Yeah, I could. It'd be very bloody slow, but I could do it, Bob.
Yeah, who's the authority of math? Who's the authority of math? I know that Newton is the authority of V = ma or F = ma. That's the authority. Who's the authority? Who's the authority of formulas of math?
That's a good question.
Reality is, right? Reality is the authority of everything. If you're going to try and say, oh, does a rock fall? Or does this equal this when you square it against this? There's only one thing or entity that knows the answer, and that's reality. So you would go outside and see.
I wonder who first figured out that this set of variables could be put together and predict an outcome.
What, the first person that did something and was like, wow, if I kick this ball kind of the same way I kicked it before, it'll do the same thing? Who's the first person to realize that reality kind of behaved the same?
I don't think it was a one-shot wonder, was it? It was like maybe 1 million people kicked a ball and 1 million people had a different idea and 1 million people tried to describe it to their friend like, oh, I kicked this ball.
I think that's actually assuming way too limited of a knowledge base to begin with. The idea that human beings started off so stupid that they couldn't understand that when you do things, things happen. Like, I don't think humans were ever at that point that they were that dumb or that unknowledgeable.
Did they need math to
the way you guys describe it is like people have absolutely no intuition at all.
Right. What you're describing is that humans somehow began retarded and then earned themselves non-retardation. That's not how it worked.
Yo, literally, bro. Literally, that's exactly how it sounds.
Human beings were created with knowledge. They didn't start off as retarded things and then somehow earn non-retardation.
Exactly.
We knew how to.
It's like when they present to us these stick figures in the inside the caves and stuff. Like, if they didn't understand like depth and colors and all these things, like all they could do is just draw sticks. Like, come on, man, come on, get out of here, bro. You telling me there wasn't one artist in that era?
How did they know how to chisel into solid rock?
Bro, they weren't amazed at the sun every day, like, oh.
We have to go there.
They use mathematics. That's how they chiseled in the rocks.
Oh, that's right. Tap, tap, tap.
Yeah.
The problem is, you don't necessarily need to know the number 3 to know that you have 3 kids, right? That you have 2 girls and a boy, and if one of them is missing, you know that one of them is missing. Fuck what the number is. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we have intuitively.
Bro, exactly.
You don't need
to know math to know
These days you don't know if you've got 2 boys and a girl. Things change.
Oh,
that's what they're trying to say. They're like, if you didn't know math, you would look at your 2 children and be like, they're all there. Even though you have 3. Like, come on. You don't need math to do these types of things. Like, it's just, humans just understand, right? That there's there can be a single object and numerous objects. Like, we just understand that. We get reality. We're not, like I said, we're not total retards.
That's like this invention of the wheel bullshit, right? Like some dude was just sitting there, caveman, right? Just whittling away.
Aaron, you about to get into some crazy topics, Aaron, because that's gonna.
I mean, come on, dude. It's intuitive that when they see a rock fall,
right? Did they start with a
hill,
square?
they're like, wow.
So what are you implying? That civilization
Let's make it round.
but Aaron, if it didn't start from zero, from not a wheel to the wheel, if that scenario doesn't logically follow, then what are you implying? How does reality? How do people learn things in reality?
We're going
let's say
backwards.
Let's say a caveman dad.
We had all the knowledge.
Saw his daughter or daughter doing a cartwheel, right? Just doing a cartwheel because people dance, right? Dance and sing and enjoy life. Does a cartwheel and he's like, wow. That's a genius idea, a fucking circle. How come I've always been doing square cartwheels?
You haven't said a fucking circle.
And then he invented the wheel.
So they already knew the name of the thing. They already knew it was a circle, right?
Yeah. Maybe the names they had to agree on, right? And, biblically they said, right, Adam was naming things, creatures with God. So like, okay, maybe just the naming, but maybe Adam knew that a wheel rolled, right? Like, it just, they're not looking at a square and being like, oh, let's make a wheel out of that so I can drive. And then it's clunk, clunk, clunk. And they're like, man, what the fuck is wrong? I don't understand.
But the deeper question right there is, if reality, if we didn't progress like that, then the deeper question is, how the fuck did we come to gather this knowledge that we have right now?
Why are you assuming there's progression?
Because we're regressing. Right, we had this mountain of we knew everything almost, right? We knew the sun pattern, we knew the seeds, the growth, how this works, why light. We knew, but we got dumbed down and told this story that's lies, and now they have all the knowledge that they can kind of poke us with and be like, look what we have, right? Oh, we're so smart. I mean, like, but maybe 1,000 years ago we knew all.
And it might have been a unified language back then, which is why we have Tower of Babel's story, right? And all the civilizations were separated to kind of confuse everybody, confuse everything, and start over again. And now we think we're progressing into technology, but we're actually regressing because none of us actually do anything like towards technology or something. Thinking wise, absolutely. Back in the old days, that's what you had was a big old campfires with all the elders sitting around thinking about shit, right? And that's progression, I think.
I think you guys are starting to blur the lines a little bit here between invention and La La Land. Let's not poo-poo on the inventors, because a lot of smart people came up with a lot of smart things. Let's distinguish between the two here.
Yeah.
Most
so
of them
I
were
would say
Chinese.
that an inventor is somebody who takes two understandings and can find that common ground, right?
Exactly.
He's like, oh, I see a stick, I see a wheel. If I put this stick through the wheel and stand on it and balance, I can roll down this hill. Like, that's the invention part, taking
exactly
society. So, and that's what they're getting us away from. How people invent stuff on a daily basis. If you can't reach a something, you invent something to get down there. People are losing that ability, man.
Like, look at the ingenious of the Archimedes screw, okay? And before they used to take a rope, tie it to a bucket, and drop it down and lift it up manually, right? But then this genius came up and said, wait a minute. If we put a tube and we put like a handle on top and we make like a screwing motion, the water is going to come up. And we don't have to spend a lot of energy.
A continuous wedge.
Yeah. Now, these guys are geniuses, as opposed to a moron that says, my greatest moment was when I saw when I was thinking of a guy falling off a roof. That would be Einstein.
Well, like, here's the thing. Anybody can, it's whoever applies the time, right? Like, if you have time and you have a need, right? Like, you need water to get to a point and you have time to figure it out and resources, you're going to get something, right? It might not be it'll be something, though. And then you got all these people doing all these things at all the time. Think about how many just great inventions will get built out of necessity. You'll be like, bro, you're a genius. You'll be like, nah, I just needed it to get water to the top of my roof, and I just figured.
Imagine all the wasted mental potential that's out there.
That's
right
what
now,
the job
you know?
market is. That's what video games is, bro. It's
Exactly.
sucking up people's inventive abilities. It's crazy. That's what they're farming.
Yep.
It's like they're farming through keeping the fields barren. They don't want you to farm your
farming the body and keeping the mind down, right? Keeping the mind down, but farming out the body, the labor. Just go to work, come home, play games, dude. That's fine, right?
Yeah, watch
football. Just think you live in the American dream, whatever, or any country's dream, whatever it is, right? Because they have to suppress that mind.
the most realistic documentary movie was The Matrix, bro. It's a prison for your mind, right?
Yep. I've never watched it, but
right, even the
but I get it.
Isn't it?
I get it.
This is a prison for our minds, right? You can see this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we should be outside. Like right now, it's dusk, right? I should be you know, I got the chickens caged up, and I shouldn't be sitting here on this in the natural world.
The only reason why, like, it's beneficial to sit somewhere like this is if it was, I've said this before, kind of like a think tank, like you, right? The hand. You're to me, you're kind of like the thinker. And I go to work the next day, or I do my shit the next day, and I'm just thinking about shit that you say, whether crazy or not. Like, whoa, way out there. Fucking think about it, dude. There's no problem, you know.
Better than thinking about a celebrity, right?
Exactly.
Oh, this person. Just think about the idea, right? You know, because somebody said it to me, and I'm not taking credit. Half these things I got from Bill Gates.
That's right. The only reservation I might have in my mind is like, well, that's not what I heard before, right? The hand said this, or Montreal brings up good points. You know, all of us bring up different ideas. And I was like, well, but that's not what I heard before.
Everyone thinks it's just what they think about at the end of the day. It's what people choose to think about. Everyone thinks.
They control what you think about in so many aspects, man. It's crazy how they do that.
Every single thing. Exactly. Hey, Bansar, you moved in? Did you get moved over?
I'm not moving till February, man. You got the memory span of a goldfish.
Yeah. It's because I've been hanging out with you for the past 3 months, apparently.
Think about
still getting loaded up or what? You got the moving truck on the way. It's going to take 3 months to get there because of COVID and all that shit. Right?
Man, you know how big Australia is? Bloody hell. It takes bloody months to get anything done here.
Yeah, especially the stretched out one, right, on the flat earth map. God damn. Take forever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get extra long trucks though? Also, you know, because Australia's bigger than you thought it was.
Yeah, well, that's why I pay people to take this notion out of my head. I don't want to think about it. Right? I need to think about the Kardashians or something like that. Right? That's where my focus is.
You dirty old man, Bansar. Shame on you.
Hey, come on. Everyone needs a crutch there in Montreal.
I hear you, bro.
Good to see you in Terry's yesterday there in Montreal, giving him hell.
Yeah, these guys are, I mean, talk to a wall, you know?
I know.
Why do we do it, Montreal?
Why not?
Tell you the truth, I was bored. I was listening to Jose's and there was nothing on and everybody went over there. I go, let me see what these guys are talking about. And it's the usual stuff, you know.
It's like playing baseball
and then
or football.
I got on.
It's like a sport, isn't it?
You got on.
And the shit got real.
Oh, man, I missed it, bro.
Did you go on Terry's?
No,
you got on Terry's?
No.
It's like the movie 50 First Dates. It's like every day they reset themselves and you have to have the same conversation, in exactly the same way. It's relentless for me. I can't do it anymore.
That's perfect, Jay. That's exactly what it's like.
I think it's for me, it's mental exercise too. And Ben, so I know I'm not trying to get deeper into this topic. Me and you had this conversation a few nights ago about like just go enjoy yourself, guys. Get out. Like Right the Hand said, I should be out feeding the chickens, just enjoying reality, all this shit. But sometimes you just want that mental. Okay, where am I at here? Just go, bump some heads, throw some arguments out. I'm bored, like Montreal said. Fuck it. And,
yeah. Hey, Aaron. Every time you're bored, go on Terry's show, and you just have to say one thing. Yeah, I heard Montreal talking about the Hasselblad the other day. What's that all about?
I think Terry's got me blocked, of course.
I think you're
it's
right.
forbidden topic on the show. Ask Bandsaw.
Yes, certainly.
Are you a mod, Banzo? Are you a mod on Terry's? Unblocked.
I don't know how, but yes, I am.
They blocked me and they threw me out a few times when I was talking with the so-called camera expert.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Was that Dean or Alan?
Yeah, what's his name?
Oh, you mean Stingray?
Stingray?
No. Was it Radar Man or
what the hell ever happened to Dean?
He comes around here and there.
Yeah, but he said a while back on Jose's, I think he was going to focus on his work and do normal shit, right?
That was last year. He came back and he's on every day with his models.
Oh, okay.
He's as hooked as everybody else.
He evaporated.
Oh, he's like the crackhead that's always going to rehab?
Yeah.
Has he done a model with the atmosphere yet?
No, Rakia. He hasn't.
No, I don't think so.
So, off topic. Somebody said something on today's show. Brandon's. I think it was Brian. I can't remember, but it was Brian. He's talking about the arc length. He's like, you guys all got to realize if they use minutes and seconds and they're talking about an arc, okay, we get it. But that brought up a good point, and I think I've heard about this or talked about it on this show. Is like, why don't airplanes just take the straightest path to the next destination, even over a curve, right? Like, why fly up and fly over around this big old arc and all this shit? What about submarines, right? Couldn't they just get, from one, if there was an emergency or something, go from the west coast of the U.S. over to the Philippines, like super quick if they just went in a straight line? Why do they have to stay and follow the curvature of the surface and then come back over? There would be a fuel savings. There would be a time savings. There would just be all sorts of benefits. I mean, if you're thinking about pinching pennies, if a submarine did travel in a straight line, wouldn't it just surface on accident? It's like, oh, whoops. Sorry. Come back down. The shortest
Do I need
distance.
Matt to bang a nail into a hammer? No. Do I need Matt to bang a nail into a piece of wood with a hammer?
Well, is it a 2x4? Because that's math. So, I mean.
Joe, right there, hand. We get it. We understand. We understand where you're coming from with this. But you try to eliminate the usefulness of the numbers and the figures and the being able to figure out things, right? Intuition is good, right? But at a certain point, you still need the pen and paper to be able to write things down, to be able to do certain things certain ways. I mean, you can't take away the usefulness of it.
You definitely don't need math right to hand. You could actually bang a nail into a piece of wood with another nail if you wanted to, or a rock, or another piece of wood. You could use that. So you don't have to say hammer, because hammers are weighted in ounces, and that's math. I mean, we can't do that. You know.
I mean, there used to be this, like, you would talk to your kid, right? You would teach him your way, and he would understand and he would know, right? Like, I think that, right? Like, here, this is how you do it, right? That's what math is kind of evolved from.
So before you ever teach your kid how to bang a nail into a piece of wood, hand them a feather duster and hold the nail with your index and your thumb there, and just let them beat on it so that your thumb doesn't end up twice the size of your fucking wrist, right? And then give them a smaller, just something a little heavier, like a piece of wood, so you can bang on it. So if it hits your thumb, you don't end up with, you know, ingrown fucking thumbnails and all that shit. So if you're talking about teaching kids, it's all about trial and error. It's not about math. Let them figure it out, you know. And then when you do give them a hammer, let them hold the nail, because that's what you're teaching them, is how to hold the nail. Let them hold the nail and let them hit their thumb on it. Good lesson.
So right the hand. So numbers. When doing bridges and building small things or whatever, they're good. But for measuring things in the galaxy, no good. Pretty much, that's your whole point.
No, I don't think, like, it's just, to me, are no different than words or, you know, write down. So I don't see math as anything different than English, right? Like, if I wanted to build a house, I could be like, yo, it's gotta be that you gotta get four boards, or you don't even need to say four. You can say get boards as many kids as I have, right? You know, you can use whatever the other person would understand, right? So the idea that math language is a language, but it's better, I can't get behind that.
I mean, I don't think anybody's saying that is better. It's just it's more descriptive. The way it works.
Stuff with it. Whereas English, you can prove things with English. So then math is somehow better than English.
I mean, I don't understand the need for the word better, or, you know, like, is that your contention? That people think is better, and who are these people?
No, if somebody thinks that math can prove something and English can't, that's my contention.
Right. So here, I'll try and explain it. If somebody tells you that something is true, that isn't proof that it's true. And in the same way, somebody showing you math that indicates something is true, that's the same as if they just said the words, "This is true." That's what his point is, I think, is that it isn't a special kind of language that somehow has more power to prove things. It's just language like every other language, and anyone that's intelligent and logical knows that language, words, are not proof.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of all
that makes perfect sense, but you still got to understand there's still a common. You still need a way to communicate. And if you want to say go by as many laws as I have kids, just to say 4 kids, it seems like you're taking a long way every time to do something. Right now, just stick to the system.
Oh, I don't think he's arguing that you get. I don't think he's arguing that you get rid of math. I don't think that that's ever been his argument. It's just an acceptance of the fact that math can't prove things. That's all he seems to be. As far as I know, that's all he's saying. Really, is there just needs to be an acceptance that math isn't special, and you don't get to say math is proof because it's not. It's just like any other language.
I don't think anybody here disagrees with him, though. So this is why
I'm really trying to talk to Rumpus.
Rumpus is not here talking right now.
Not right now, no. Not necessarily right now, but I mean, in this conversation, it has been pretty sure multiple times indicated that math is somehow proof, and it's not proof at all, even a little.
Yeah, these are the same people that tell us we living on a spinning ball with absolutely no proof other than some famous guy did something back in the day.
No, there's people, there were FE's people. There's like, because here's the thing, you know, basically a lot of people just flatten the ball, right? And then they say, oh, I'm a flat earther, right? But they believe in everything the baller believes, right? Except for the baller. They believe in the mathematics, the acceleration, forces, this thing. They, you know, a lot of the words start lining up, you know? So I have contentions with a lot of that.
The problem is some people are, as you say, right-minded, and they need the numbers and the figures in order to be able to follow. They don't have the intuition that others have, right? This is why I put it as example. Quantum eraser. Quantum eraser is not for flat earthers. Quantum eraser is for globe earthers, right? We didn't need quantum eraser to understand that the shit was flat. We already knew it, right? Some people need the numbers. They need the citations. They need the authority.
That sounds like a religion.
Nathan Oakley points that out every day. I mean, you're kind of preaching to the choir here, bro.
Bro, Nathan Oakley's one of the lead priests of the religion, man.
Yeah, earth-based, man-based priest. Meaning not from a higher authority, you know, but he makes it sound like he's got some higher authority, which would be QE, who is exactly just, he always goes back to certain authorities. Go to Boston University, I go to, you know, Stanford, I go to UCLA, right? He always pulls out these, what he calls authorities, which don't prove anything, right? They're just quotes from man based on earthly experiences projected usually into space.
It gives them a pulpit to preach from.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that they are the originals folks to ever stand on a pulpit. Not going into godly religion or anything, but you know, I mean, when you think of the word authority, we just had an election, right? Anybody you see in a suit and tie, some sort of manager, some sort of it's a mental something we've been ingrained with, that anyone who speaks a certain way, right? We've been ingrained that, oh, that must be somebody I must obey, follow, just, you know what I mean? Just not question too much on its face. Must be right, must be correct, you know? But that's not actually true, because none of these people on Earth here, even priests, the Vatican, QE, the president, leader, they're not smarter than you, are they?
And nobody seems to be able to explain to me how it works, how the Vatican is connected to everybody. Everybody just said, "Oh, the Vatican," but nobody seems to be able to know the connections. So how is it that these people have this authority?
It's a mental idea. That's why, not physical.
The whole authority thing from the Pope goes way, way back. I can't remember what they called it. There was a name for the law. Like they did this thing where they put the Pope above any other.
The kings, didn't the kings and queens want to be equal with the Pope or something? So
I think they were at the beginning.
The Pope granted
and
them
then
some sort of like
some law changed, something changed way back.
They made him the vicar of God, Paige. Maybe that's what you're talking about. He's right under God.
Yeah, but
that's what I was gonna say. Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning. From the beginning. What is the Pope?
I'd suggest you go and have a look at Whiteboard Gematria channel. He goes through all the history, the House of Flanders, the Concordance of Worms, the whole lot. So
can you repeat that for me, please?
Whiteboard Gematria. And he's done extensive research into all these bloodlines and how they link up, and you know, through the history, what they had to do to put their, you know, like put the Pope in the position where he is the highest authority.
And remember, it's just history. Doesn't mean it's true or not, but it's just what we were taught.
Yes,
so it's embedded
what we're
in
taught.
our mind.
I just can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it was some agreement.
I've been to the Vatican,
where the Pope could travel all around the world, and he was like, it was empty, was it?
Yeah, well, there's no one there.
Can you recommend a specific video? I'm already on the guy's page.
Have a look for something about the House of Flanders or the Concordance of Worms, something with those words in it. What I'll do for you, I'll have a look. I'm out walking the dog at the moment, but when I get home, I'll have a look, and if I can find the specific one I'm thinking of, I'll send it to you. I'll stick it in general or something in Ranty's. But I would recommend watching all of Dallas's videos. He is amazing, absolutely amazing.
All right, thank you, Paige. I appreciate that.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah, just keep in mind, Jay, that it's it's just how our mental construct was formed to this day. It has no basis in reality. We cannot check anything. You cannot go and search the Vatican. You can't go meet the Pope. You can't go meet any of these people, right? Can't even find their graves or whatever half the time. So it's just a construct of how we're taught of who is the authority or what is the authority. And
Aaron, there were 2 places in the world where they let you go. Where would you go?
Was that for me or go ahead?
You went in general 2 places. I'll tell you where I'd go. I'd want to go to Antarctica and the library in the Vatican.
I'd go to North Pole and the library in the Vatican.
You see, if that would have asked me, I would have said I would just want to go north. That's it. Just go north until you hit something.
Something very special about the North Pole.
Just fly north until you hit something.
I'm starting to think that
it all indicates to the north, man. Like there has to be that. That has to be where everything originated or
every
ends
direction. From. Yeah, like our compass points to the North Pole. You've got the stories of Santa and all these things. And then if you look into the toroidal shape of the electromagnetic field around the Earth with your plane of inertia and your little donut shape that goes around it with the hourglass shape that comes out of it, that's pointing to the middle, like where everything starts from, that counter space, that nothingness where everything comes from, that seems to be the North Pole.
And the creator.
Can I just ask you something?
It fascinates me, yeah.
There is that Maru.
Can I just ask, sorry, Aaron, can I just ask, are these headphones any better? Are you getting bad feedback or anything from me?
It's the wind. It's the wind.
Oh, no, but you're fine. It just sounds like you're breathing.
Paige, they still sound like shit, but you're lovely, so go ahead. Just keep on talking. Don't worry about it.
Because these are brand new. I literally just got them delivered today. Oh,
yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we can pick up a little bit of wind noise, but I mean, what? When does that not happen in Australia, right?
I mean, Australia, man, that's crazy, man.
The weather's weird.
Can you imagine the vegetation
the
and the animals they have over there that we have no idea?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, platypuses. I've seen 2 platypuses in the wild. They are the most bizarre looking things. And then platypus, yeah. No. Platypi.
They're like ducks and, I don't know, ducks and beavers, something like that.
And the males have a poisonous spur on their back leg. And they lay eggs. They're a mammal that lays eggs. It's got like a beaver body with a duck bill. They swim underwater with their eyes closed and feel with their bill so they can feel where they're going. They're echidnas.
there's 10
little
of the
porcupines.
10 most dangerous animals in the world, right? 10 of the most, not animals, arachnids, insects,
Snakes and spiders.
reptiles. Your whole what do you call it? Genus.
Yeah,
of,
we have the most
and
venomous
you have
animals.
9 of the most 10. Like, why
Yep.
did all the most dangerous ones go there? They were just like, no, fuck it, we're heading over to Australia.
Yeah, you got to have balls to live in Australia. My grandparents actually immigrated out here. Like, they chose to come here. So they mustn't have known.
Why did all the genus of most deadly just decide to head there? They're just like, fuck it, let's just live here because it's hospitable. No, it's hot as fuck. It's cold as fuck.
Maybe it was the venomous ones couldn't kill each other off here, but in other countries where you've got other animals that can eat those spiders and snakes, maybe they got.
I think they were just trying to get away from the people, and then you guys showed up. That's what happened. Like, fuck these people, we're out of here. And then
that is crazy how we are like viruses, how we just spread out and take over everything.
True. If you want to go
just
virus
take over, but kill everything.
People are a virus, dude. Well, even mentally, like you could say Right the Hand is a virus to me, right? He's contagious. But I'm only listening to his words, these symbols that I translate into ideas, all this shit, right? You could say that, but think about your neighbor and think about the rest of the population you live in, right? They're listening to these words on a TV screen. You know, at least I could go get in a chokehold with Right the Hand. If I went to Florida, he'd put me in a chokehold. He's a real dude, right? You're not going to meet the president. You're not going to meet your senator. You're not going to meet your representative. You're not going to meet all your congressmen. Never. Fuck no, you'll never meet them.
But you're taught to trust them and trust what they say to you without any
blind faith.
Yeah, blind faith. Just you're taught to belittle your family, like, you know, the jokes about your mother-in-law and all this kind of stuff, sibling rivalry. You know, you're taught that your family's like the worst thing, and these complete strangers should be just completely trusted, even though you don't know them, never will.
And then evidence comes out that they've got some certain special island with, you know, some sort of, you know, airplane that goes back and forth with maybe some, you know, some special parties there, Epstein, right? You know, but you can't believe that. Don't believe that.
Well, look at Jimmy
bro.
Savile.
I think these people have countries, bro.
Yes, I think they do too.
Fuck islands. Epstein was like an ant in the whole. Like, I think they gave us Epstein so we could think that that's big league.
Bingo, that's exactly what I think they did too. That they've given us that to say, this is the worst it ever gets. Like, you know, this is the biggest, you know, he's got a whole island, you know, and make everyone think, oh my God, you know, that's the biggest and worst it gets. When, in fact, I mean, Jimmy Savile, the Queen, he was going into the inner rooms of the royal family up until his death, even though the police had interviewed him numerous times for pedophilia. So how did the Secret Service and that let him in?
There's one thing, Paige, or maybe you're not the right one to ask, but listen to this. I want to ask another guy this, like Montreal, all the guys here. Like, I have no desire to kidnap another's kid. It just doesn't even register.
Doesn't even register. Yeah. That thought would have never come into your head if you hadn't have heard that somebody else had done it.
And I would never even fathom it to this day. But yet,
so what is going on, Aaron?
I remember when I was young. Remember all the milk cartons that got delivered to your front door? The milk cartons.
Oh yeah, the missing children.
Missing kids in our town and shit. And I was like, what is the point of kidnapping somebody else's kid? Like, what's
have you seen Dr. Sleep? Have you seen the movie Dr. Sleep?
That's
the point.
I don't want to see it. But I can't believe
the premise of that movie is the point. of why they do it.
Crazy people who just want domination over kids? Is that
No,
it? Because
they get
all you have to do-
spiritual power from this, from what they do to them.
Oh, okay.
They are, and they're able to change the frequency that is coming off the child and into the world by the things they do to them, the pain and the fear.
Let me bring something up, Paige, that I remembered back on the milk cartons on in America. They used to deliver milk to your front door, just kind of like the mail and shit, right? And you had a milk box. You go out there and get the milk, and every week there'd be a different missing kid, and I couldn't. But my mom would always teach me, don't talk to strangers because of this, right? And, you know, good moral things.
Yeah,
like
stranger
be careful,
danger.
all that, yeah, all that crap, right?
Yeah.
But none of these kids were ever found, right? There was never this big news article in our local town.
Oh my God, we found this child,
people.
yeah.
Like, whoa, we found him, you know, everything's fine, and here's the bad guy. No. What happened, right?
I heard David Icke, when he first started looking into how many children go missing in the USA each year, he was able to ring a centralised department and find out how many cars had gone missing in the entire country in a year. But to find out how many children went missing, he had to ring each state by itself. And he said, you know, he was only like, you know, through maybe a dozen states, and he said the number was so astronomical, he just couldn't fathom what was happening. He just couldn't believe it.
Now,
that's how bad.
Were those pictures real that I saw on my milk carton, or not real, or was it just a presented idea?
Who knows?
That, hey, here's what's gonna happen. Is there are gonna be a possible generation of youngs that might go missing, even though no parents come out. Basically, there are certain kidnappings, and it's all over the news, right? You got the FBI out there, the CIA,
like Madeleine McCann, that kind of thing.
Yeah. The whole fucking nation is out there. You got people out there looking.
And it's crazy how the number that you call, the Amber Alert number, is related to like the Hillary Clinton. Like that shit is creepy as fuck.
Yep. So if that kid was able to run away from their foster home,
like,
and they got
imagine
found, they get taken straight back. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
they would
God, that is
immediately
some
be
special
killed.
kind of evil right there.
Isn't it?
That's some simpleton things that you're helping that kid out, and you just call them thinking, yeah, I'm being a hero, and you're actually condemning that kid. Wow, that is crazy, bro.
What was it, Jaron?
Yeah, you're
did
probably sending it back to his death.
Yeah, Jaron did a documentary on I think it was the British, and somebody who's from Britain here might be able to help me out. Where there was a huge scandal in Britain on a foster home, right? Where
what
was that? Jaron did that.
Heath. I was only talking about it 2 days ago. It was like Heatherton or Heathton or Hampstead.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Hampstead case?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they literally had two kids. Yep. Video testimony. They could tell you who, where, when, how. Told, you know, all about what the inside of the house looked like, all the tunnels they were taken through. You know, were able to identify the people that were raping and torturing them, and still nothing was done.
Yep. Yeah. No repercussion. No enforcement.
No, because if you get up high enough, you know, they'll let the little pedos get caught. But if you're up high enough, then all the evidence just gets kind of, you know, swept under the rug and
just
forgotten about.
I can't even wrap my mind around it, Paige. Right now, even after we're talking, I'm like, that's not real. I just cannot accept that it's real.
Yeah,
you know,
I have to not think about it too much. It's what upsets me more than anything is people like Aaron Armstrong and Sean Nappy-headed. They won't even look into it, but tell me I'm lying.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, you know,
Paige, I think it's a game, Paige. I think they're playing a game. I think we have to recognize that at a certain point that is a game. I know the implications of it is devious and is nefarious, but at a certain point we have to understand that some people are playing the game with us.
They're just playing a game. Yeah, it's sick. It really is. Like, you know, why would you want to go around deceiving people, or even, like, I don't even understand trolling. I don't understand why you would want to do it.
Listen, I understand it. If you get paid for it, Paige, it's just like how a cop justifies killing somebody
if you're getting,
for some dumb law. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like people have weird ways in justifying fuck.
They will justify it to themselves. Yep. Yeah. Well said. I believe it's nearly December, so summer here. Usually this time of year, I've got the air conditioner on at night time because it's hot, and I reckon I've turned the air conditioner on maybe 3 times since the start of spring. It's cold today. It's been raining, pouring rain for 3 days, and it's cold. Bizarre.
I mean, at least you're in a place where it sounds like there's a lot of dogs. Where I live, you don't see no dogs in the street. You don't see no cats, no nothing. These animals just go missing.
Animals go missing?
Yeah, man. A cat out here in New York, he won't last 3 days without disappearing.
Oh, you're in New York. Oh, that's horrible. Poor animals.
Anywhere near Chinatown.
Ooh, left lane.
I mean, I've always questioned Chinese food, but let's not have that conversation.
Yeah,
it's actually Koreans. It's actually Koreans that do eat dogs.
Koreans that eat dogs. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Hey. In China, they have a whole parade. They have a whole parade in China about it.
There's actually a reason for that because of the Korean War, right? Where I don't know who instigated that or, supported one side or the other. Might have been the U.S., not sure. But when there was famine around there, that's where kimchi comes from, right? They buried
I can understand if you're starving to death, that's one thing. But
what's wrong with eating dogs? What's wrong with eating dogs or cats?
Bandsaw.
Especially wild dogs.
Come on, Paige,
wild
you were stuck on top of a mountain, right, in the middle of a blizzard,
I just said if
and
it
you
was a
only had
famine...
humans to eat, you'd eat them. It's just meat.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't do it. Just on a normal. I don't agree with hurting any animals for any reason. I don't agree with testing on animals or even an ant or a butterfly or whatever. They have a purpose here. They are here for a reason. We have no right to take them out of the world. They have their own little electromagnetic frequency that they put into the world when they come here. And when you kill them, you take that out of the world. And you've got no right to do that, But we just think we can do whatever we want. We're human, we can just kill whatever we want.
Except when you're hungry.
Yeah. Or except if I grow them. So, Paige, what if I grow the animals? So I pay to feed them. I pay to give them a secure life so they're not eaten by another animal because another animal
makes no difference. You're still taking that frequency out of the world.
But whether
that's kind of what the elites do to us, Aaron. What you're doing to the animals.
Yes.
How you take care of them. How you protect them. That's exactly how they see us.
So whether I do it or another animal does it, so whoever eats my cow, pack of wolves, whatever, the deer, wolves who eat the deer.
The animals aren't under the same karmic.
Why can't I shoot the deer knowing that it's going to get eaten
God
anyway?
gave us dominion, bro. God gave us
dominion. We have dominion over them. The animals are all the same. They don't know. They don't have the same.
If we would not take dominion over them, believe me, lions and tigers and jaguars will outnumber and overpower us. We need
and God needs them to kill because you'd have too many of certain animals.
What I'm saying is there is an abundance of animals. What if I grow a couple called chickens and pigs, right? What if I grow a couple, I feed them, I nurture them? How come I can't use them as fuel for my life? But I didn't harm the rest of nature. I did not harm the mother.
But you've harmed that.
Eggs.
You've harmed
the mother's
that being.
Still laying eggs. She's still doing good. I did not harm nature at all.
You have. You've harmed the
thing.
thing
If you put it in a cage, it's got no chance of getting away from the coyote, does it? But in the wild, at least it stood a chance.
Fuck off, Manzo.
That's like saying, okay, I'm going to get pregnant so that I can go and have an abortion, and that doesn't mean that I actually murdered the baby because I purposely.
That's a huge jump.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a life that you've created.
That logic is insane.
Yeah, but it's the same. To me, It's the same thing. We have no right to take a life from anything else.
No, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree that.
That's just
I disagree.
My personal.
I definitely believe that before you think of abortion, you should have thought of condoms and anti-pregnancy pills.
Yeah,
like there should be a lot of things that you should have thought of before thinking of abortion.
But it works the same with animals. You should have thought about planting some seeds and growing some, fruit and vegetables before you got into a situation where you were starving and needed to take that animal's life.
Let me ask you this, Paige. So when you're talking about abortion or something, a child it's a useful, it's a productive thing. I mean, it's got a mind. You know what a child is, right? Obviously. Okay. Now, a cow. What is the purpose of a cow?
To be a cow.
Its purpose is to eat the grass.
They will beg to differ.
To die and then have its body go back into the earth to feed the plants and help the plants to grow. That's their purpose.
Have you asked?
But the cow was on my land page. It was on
the purpose of the cow is to filtrate the air.
It's not your land, though, Aaron.
We breathe in their farts.
It's actually not. It's not your land anyway.
Page. I put up a fence to block that cow in. Now it's
so the coyotes could slaughter it when at willy-nilly.
Damn it! He had no place to run, did he?
Exactly.
I don't know. I just have a really hard time reconciling taking the life of something for food when there are billions of plants and fruit and vegetables that we can eat.
Can we look in the Bible for any type of slaughter?
Oh shit!
Can we?
Sorry, my See, but I don't. See, I've got a totally different view on the Bible too. I don't even think there are different gods in the Bible. So not even always talking about the same type of creator.
Lamb of
they're
God.
Definitely,
so how do you know?
They're definitely different gods. God, Lord.
Yeah.
There's the one. There's the God of
the
hosts.
Elohim are different to
the God of hosts.
The Lord of hosts.
So at the final supper,
at the final supper,
what were
the
they
Elohim are of the Most High,
T-bone steak.
And the Elohim created Genesis, created man in their image. An image means vain show or an idol. So
not to mention the whole replenishing the earth. Like, what you mean replenish the earth?
Yeah.
You mean
what do you mean?
What you mean reduce? What? Who fucked up the first? Like that just.
What happened to it the first time?
Exactly. Like, what you mean replenish the earth, dog? What happened to the first people that were here?
Well, yeah. What happened to just making it? Why are we having to remake it, replenish it? That makes no sense. Yeah, and I even wonder sometimes whether the God that says go forth and multiply, whether that was actually what we were supposed to do. Like,
and how is it that we call that the creation story when it clearly says replenish? Like, I don't understand how we just get past that like nothing.
Yeah, they don't want it, do they? But there's definitely two different creations in Genesis. One that the Elohim created, they created man. This is where the Luciferians get their transgender agenda from, that man was created both male and female. And they were created in Elohim's image, which is an idol, a vain show, an idol. Whereas Adam, was created from the dust of the earth. So there is another creation on this earth that were not created from the dust of the earth like we were.
Are you telling me, Paige, that they have twisted and used the Bible to promote transgender?
That's the core of their belief, yes, that we need to get back to being both male and female in one body. That is how we were created originally, and that's the way we're supposed to be. That's why they push the LGBT.
If we were created hermaphrodites, we'd all be hermaphrodites.
Well, that's my opinion too. Yeah.
Wouldn't that mean you were God? Because
that...
isn't God unisex, omnipotent, right? So
yeah. See, I will even argue that he might not be omnipotent and omnipotent, and how can he be everywhere and everything at all times?
Unless he's the everything
the things that happen.
Well,
what if God is the everything and all?
Unless he is literally the everything.
Exactly, the electricity, the pressure. What if he's absolutely everything?
Is God a he or a she?
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. Is God what?
A he or a she?
I don't think it's either. I don't think we can even really understand.
So now they're trying to give humans the idea that you are AI, you are the earthly God, you are
yes,
unisex.
That's their whole doctrine, that they can make themselves gods.
Yeah. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's just fucking weird.
It is very strange.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah, it's working. They're doing a bloody good job. You try and tell someone these days that
you can't even call them by a name or anything. Yeah, you're not
even allowed to encourage someone to not transition. It's illegal now to encourage someone to remain whatever sex they are at the moment and work through whatever problems they have in their head. What they're telling them is the problem isn't in your head, the problem is on your body.
Paige,
it's literally the opposite.
You got to go further, Paige. Okay. You and I cannot.
I'm trying to be simple for everyone here.
No, I'm not. No offense.
Thank you, Paige.
We have to go further because
no offense. I don't know how much everyone knows, so I don't want to, go off.
We cannot
talking about
weird shit. We cannot call God by name nor look him in the eye, right? You just that's
says no man can look. Yeah.
Okay. So when I walk up to a transgender and I don't even know, I'm like, excuse me, what do I say?
Yeah, what do you even call them?
Right? So they're actually making us bow down a little bit because you're like, I don't know what to call you. I want to respect you, right? Just bend the knee a little bit because you don't want to create the fucking tension and all the fucking bullshit that's about to happen.
They're being fascist by saying we aren't allowed to think that that's wrong.
A false god. What's that called? A false god on earth?
False idols.
Idol. Exactly.
Yeah, an idol.
I think this is insanity. All of it.
And they're creating it in front of all the religious.
It is. It's insanity. It's literally the opposite of what it should be.
The whole world has some sort of religion, right? With a god or one god or whatever it is. And now they come out with this transgender thing, which we have to respect and kneel down to just a tad, right? Oh, man. They're doing a great job, dude. And we can't call them by name. There is no name for them. It's not he, she, it, them. What are the other names?
Yeah, but you're not even allowed to be a parent to your child and encourage them not to transition. You're supposed to encourage them to.
Magnificent child, right? They'll have a magnificent child. Is what they'll have.
So well balanced.
This is weird, dude. That was a great revelation, though. Just thinking about that. Because I never care about transgenders. But exactly what you said. You can't look them in the eye. Because they'll fucking, mean eye you. And you kind of have to be like, I don't know what to call you. Right? Almost as if what is written, you cannot do that to God either. if you see God, what is there's a verse for it. If you see God or you think you see God, you better turn around and run away. Something, but the burning bush, show your bum, pull your pants down, show your bum. Do we think that the state, when I say state, I mean governments and all that shit, just the whole, encompass it, the whole thing. Do we think the state is actually playing out the Bible right in front of our eyes?
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
But you know how I told you? You know, I told you the other day, Aaron. You know, when you walk into a shop and people ask like, "How are you going?" and what you should say, like, "Do you really want to know? Do you really, really want to know how I'm going?" It's the same sort of thing when people come up to you and introduce themselves. "G'day, I'm Fred and I'm gay," which happens. It actually happens. They tell you their sexuality, right? Your response is, "Why the fuck are you pointing out your perverted fetish to me?" Right? Say that to them.
Exactly. Like, hi, Fred.
Why does it have to be pointed out that you're gay, leso, trans, fucking anything? Why do people have to go out of their way to point out their perversion to you?
They have to make a mark in your mind, right?
That's right. Well, that's right. You make your own mark.
Yeah. But they do this. And do you think these are rational minds that do it? I don't know. I'm not going to say Fred that's gay is a bad lady.
No.
Maybe he's not a bad lady.
I'm not saying that at all. But why do you have to point out anything to me? Right? If Fred comes up to me and points out, "G'day, I'm Fred, I'm gay," right? Is he suggesting to me that he wants to stick his fucking...
It'd be like,
in me bloody clacker?
Hey, nice
like,
to meet
really?
you. My name's Aaron, architectural engineer. Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just kind of throwing that out there. Just waiting for you to say, well, I just sharpen bandsaws all day. That's all I do, you know?
There you go.
I kind of love just, chiseling wood in my shop because I'm a lowly slave compared to you, right, motherfucker? Right? But we do that same thing with suits, though. When somebody walks up with a suit and tie, and maybe you're supposed to meet them within a group or something, right? I'm not wearing a suit and tie. I don't give a fuck about a suit and tie. I don't give a fuck what status you think you have by wearing a suit and tie. But that's the presence, right? The omnipresence of, I'm better dressed than you. I'm tighter. I have a louder voice.
Yeah, when they drop their Mercedes-Benz key ring down on the table in front of you. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Exactly.
Yeah. What do you want to drink? Oh, I'll take the whole bottle of Chablis. Fuck off. Okay. Yeah, good for you. Then I'm going to go back home and enjoy life. You're going to go back home.
What are you going to drink? Fucking... just give me a glass of tap water there, pal. That'll be fine. I've got to get my daily dose of fluoride.
Yeah. Well, don't you want bottled water? Like, no.
You can rip out a
tap's fine. Tap is fine. In fact, I'll take a glass of ice. Fuck it.
Glass of ice? Yeah.
Don't even need water. Fuck it.
Yeah. Give me a glass of ice.
Give me something to chew on while I'm imagining chewing your head off. Right? Which I could do. You don't even know that, but I could do that. But yeah, it's so we're talking about perception, right? Perception of people and how we were indoctrinated to believe in these authorities, or language is more. I think it might have been you that said it, like body language, right? Somebody's, oh no, it's right at the hand. He goes, a wave is a universal language. Not always true. Sometimes in certain countries, a wave isn't always meaning high, right? It might mean shoot me or whatever. But generally, shoulders down, head up, eyes open is kind of a look of I'm no threat, right? You know what I mean? When you talk about animals interacting, ears back, shoulders down, knees bent. I'm no threat. That's a language right there.
Well, yes, but the universal language, as Chris said, is reality. Show someone a rock. Doesn't matter if you're in Australia, China, Afghanistan. Everyone will know what a rock is. You only have to show it to them.
Yeah.
Right? Then when the language comes in, and that's where the cloudiness starts to form.
Yeah.
When the language comes in. Doesn't matter what language it is.
Because it is now it's the middleman between reality and what you express, right? So like the rock will always be the rock. But once you start talking, now you're playing that telephone game. You're getting further and further away.
Yeah. Just like a big game of whispers there, Chris.
But it was like Chris said, hand gestures are not always a universal language. Not always, but generally, if you have two hands, one hand up could mean something in a different language. But two hands, hands open, eyes open, and not threatening the other people. That's a language of non-enemy. Yeah, submissive, non-enemy. And actually, you could actually walk up into a, let's say, the most foreign country you ever think of. Let's just say in the middle of Namibia or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could ask for water just by holding your hand and doing the cup motion, right, up to your mouth, and then doing the praying motion. Do you please have water, please? Right? And they would know that's a universal body language, which is reality.
Yep. Scared. A scared face when you see it, right? You
don't have to use H2O and try to write down H2O and shit. Some formula. I don't got.
They're trying to complicate it. They have to complicate reality to make their religion, to get their religion across.
Yeah. I get it. We use it every single day because we're born with it, indoctrinated with it. We do use it, but it's only because it's based upon previous trials and errors. Like it's not like there was just some fucking genius that came up with this reality that now exists. Right? Like the Force. Oh, now the Force exists.
Well, everything was always there, wasn't it?
Well, we call that genius God, right? The creator.
Yeah. There was one genius.
Yeah, but it wasn't a man. No man can figure this all out. That's what they want. Oh, mankind can figure it out. No, you can't.
Not even the body of mankind. Right? The body of science. Even they
figure it out.
Right?
If they really had it figured out, they could replicate it. And that's the problem. You can't replicate anything. They can't make life. They can't make light. They can only produce what has already been.
Well, they can replicate bendy space-time. They get a big condom and stretch it over a barrel and throw some bloody marbles on it. There you go. Bendy space-time. Replicated.
For kids, exactly. Yeah, just for kids. I've never seen a video with a condom stretched out over around pipes and then, throw out some cue balls or something. And with a bunch of adults standing around going, yeah, that's how gravity works right there. Right? We'd all just be drinking beers, smoking, like, yeah, okay, cool.
Pretty hard.
Yeah. Get on. Like, wow, you're a genius, dude. Wow. Oh, what else? Oh, the lightning thing, Chris. When I was in my final thoughts, right? When bless Brian's heart. I love Brian. I love his emotion. He's heated. I fucking love it. But
blow your goddamn eardrums out.
Dude, that's the best part is he can never figure his mic out and it's just blowing everybody out. It's just funny as shit. It's just funny, and he's been doing it for 3 years now. It's like, dude, figure it out. But he never listens back apparently to like what he sounds like, because it's just like bang, 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 you know. But when he's talking about Ohm's law and shit, right? You know, we have to go, or at least I was going back, just dropped a thing in my mind. It's like, what about electricity? Okay, wasn't it Benjamin Franklin with some stupid kite and a key? There was like gonna test this electricity thing. Had no idea what it was. Apparently, you know.
How does a kite and a key test anything?
It's the stupidest bullshit ever, dude.
Like seriously, what?
And it's all the stupid stories. How do they teach this? How are they teaching this? It's like, oh yeah, he put a key on a kite and he got struck by lightning, and then it went through the rope cord. No, it didn't catch fire, but it shocked him. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had a bunch of resistors there. Because he had Ohm's law on his side.
Did Ben Franklin there? Did he know Ohm's law and any of Faraday's laws and any laws of equations before that? Before he sent up his kite? Because if he did, he probably wouldn't have sent up his kite, right? He probably would have been like, oh no, not tonight. It's you know, it's pretty bad tonight. I don't want the most major strike ever to hit me, which happened, apparently, you know. And how the fuck does the dude get a kite like 100 foot off the ground and
bloody newspaper? Like, how did he make the kite?
A couple sticks in a shirt, maybe.
I'll use his wife's old petticoat or something, maybe. Who knows?
And the key, that has to be a reference to some sort of esoteric knowledge, right? The key, you know, hanging off the line, and the kite.
Right.
The kite.
It wasn't just a piece of metal, and I think the kite was even like pyramidal. The key's right? It's all fucking.
Yeah.
Esoteric. Let's see what Google has for the Ben Franklin
symbolism. Exactly.
Hey, I just read something. I know how they're going to try to push this vaccine on everyone. This lady was saying that her employer has informed her that it's a condition of her employment to take the vaccine, because insurance companies are going to tell everybody that they won't pay out any claims connected to COVID if you haven't taken the vaccine. So you'll essentially be uninsurable for medical insurance or loss of work insurance or otherwise if you haven't taken the vaccine. So then the companies will say you have to take it.
It's not just that, Brandon. Right? Here in Australia, you can't send your kids to school unless they have evidence that they have been vaccinated.
They're going to push a hard.
Are track marks evidence of vaccination?
No, I think you have to have like a doctor's note or some shit.
They're ramping it up, Brandon. Why the ramp, right? Especially right after the election. Here comes the vaccine. Like, what was it, 2 days later? Right?
Right.
And then just the huge ramp up. Just boom, Texas has the most surge in cases. They blame it on Halloween. They're blaming it on, because all the kids who aren't susceptible to COVID, apparently, you know, going door to door, like spreading COVID. That's what they're saying with the surges. This huge surge. Come on, dude. Why? Nobody's buying it that I know, but the media is just ramping it out big time.
Well, they're definitely want all of us, or as many people as they can, to take this fucking vaccine for what is essentially a seasonal cold or flu strain. This is a pretty elaborate hoax. I don't know why they'd go to so much trouble if there wasn't something in this vaccine that they wanted to push into our bodies.
Exactly.
Do you guys have mandatory vaccines, Brandon, for kids at school over there?
Yeah, you can get out of it for some exemptions most of the time, but
you got to be like Amish or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that strict where you have to be like Amish. I think you could do it for other reasons, but yeah, you have to.
The people here, we actually pay for our public schooling, so you can put in a dispute, right? So I do pay for my kid. I want my kid to go to this school. I have paid you, but I just dispute this part of the entry, right? And it goes through all the disputes, even though your kid's in school, everything's fine, right? And it's not a big deal because everyone else is vaccinated, right? Except you, the conspiracy theorist mom, right? So all the other kids are fine because they've been vaxxed. Everything works out.
I wouldn't even send my kid to public school. Fuck it.
I know.
Not anymore. Work on the farm with dad.
That's right. Learn some real shit.
They say they're going to vaccinate 25 million people by January in the United States alone.
Where? In the U.S. or where?
In the U.S., just by January.
Oh, there's
I thought
100 million people that would sign up.
I thought Britain had a vax. We have a vax. We have Pfizer. They've got the other one. Can't remember what
GlaxoSmithKline.
Yeah, possibly. No, that was the diabetes thing, right? Wasn't it? No.
Have you guys looked into this vaccine? Like what it is? It's this RNA recombinant thing. I'm not real literate in the whole thing, but I was reading about it. It like injects something into your DNA or something. It's not like a normal vaccine. It's new kind, from what I understand.
One of the companies, Brendan, to produce one of these vaccines, or the COVID vaccine, is called Moderna, right? Moderna. And you take the three words MODE RNA, right? So mode RNA or mod RNA.
Oh my god!
Why would you name your company that, dude? You think people won't figure that out? Because RNA is a big ass thing. I don't know about it. My wife does. She's a herpetologist, and she knows about DNA of plants or RNA of plants and just cell structure, all that shit, right? She knows about that. And so it is a thing. RNA, DNA, whatever. At least in the books, it's a thing.
Well, here's what it says. An RNA vaccine, or mRNA vaccine, is a new type of vaccine that inserts fragments of viral mRNA into human cells, which are reprogrammed to produce pathogen antigens, which then stimulate an adaptive immune response against the pathogen.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Why do they want us so bad to take this? It can't just be money.
Is COVID-19 a pathogen? Can you search that real quick?
Sure.
Is a virus a pathogen? I'm not sure what a path, but the word path kind of rings bells here. Here we go. Now we're on the path. We got to get on the path. Yellow brick road. Let's do it.
This article says that it is.
It could be. I don't know.
Host or pathogen-related factors in COVID-19. Yeah, I really don't know what pathogen means.
Look up the cold virus. Actually, cold or flu pathogen instead of COVID, because you'll get biased results if you look up COVID.
Well, all this says is all a pathogen is a bacterium, virus, or other microorganism that can cause disease. So it's pretty generic term.
COVID's not a bacterial virus.
Oh, it says
Isn't
bacteria,
it
virus, or microorganism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look up pathogen. What does that mean?
That's what I just gave you the definition for.
But what does it do? What's it?
It's just these 5 organisms. What are 5 pathogens? Viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and worms.
Are viruses organisms, actually? Living things?
I don't know. I have no idea. The definition of a pathogenic organism is an organism capable of causing disease in its host. So it's something that can cause disease, I guess.
Can you look up virus real quick? Just see if it's an organism.
Okay.
Viruses are not living things.
What's a disease? Right?
Exactly.
So there's
a disease.
You know, they'll say Lou Gehrig's disease. What does that mean? So, oh, well, your body's doing something. Or your body's doing something. It's a disease? That's strange.
A virus.
Or your body's lacking something, maybe, right? Your body's lacking something. So your body acts a certain way, and then they call that a disease, maybe?
A virus is a microscopic particle that can infect the cells of a biological organism. They are similar to
can affect an organism.
What's that?
So it can affect an organism, but it's not an organism, right?
Viruses are generally not considered to be true living organisms. That's what it says.
So if we want to play...
What is it?
They can't do anything until they enter a living cell.
What can't?
A virus, apparently.
If it's not a living thing, where did it come from?
I don't know.
That's the question.
Scientific
Everything is
American.
living, though, right?
Although viruses challenge our
Fine,
concept
right?
of what living means, they are vital members of the web of life.
See, they'll right there. Even they know. They're like, yeah, we know it's like we know it's not alive. It kind of, but it is.
Yeah.
So a pathogen was called a virus, an organism, a what else? A bacteria, a something else, right? Then you look up virus, and it says this microscopic particle that could affect an organism. Right? So right there we have doublespeak. You know, just
If you think about that. Take a rock and like throw it. Okay. Now a microscopic piece comes off and hits me in the head. Is that a virus? Bro, that's the microscopic material that can affect my body, right? That's not a virus. It's a fucking piece of rock.
a particle just bounced off your forehead.
It's an itsy bitsy rock.
Bro, this is how. Oh, this is so ridiculous.
Why did they want us to take this shit though so bad?
Consent.
Because there's something else in it. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything in it. To be honest with you,
Isn't that the idea to merge man with machine? Isn't that just somehow, some way?
Yeah. It's your body is weak. Your body needs. It's not the vaccination. I don't think they care about that. I think the vaccination is preparing people to put their body into some kind of mechanical thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe it is. It's conditioning. Maybe they're not putting anything in us now, but they want to condition us.
It'd be interesting, like, to think about if
they want you to make the choice to put yourself in something else.
Yes, that's right. Once the folks make that choice, right, then it's going to be another 10, 15, 20 years, but they're going to keep ramping up that idea. Oh, the folks are objective to whatever we say, right? And there could be some new technology at that time, like the Matrix, bubbles, vat in the brain type thing, whatever it could be. But it's just as long as you're subjective, to an authority. That's all they want.
Bro, I think people are literally going to let the government kill them. Like they're gonna make, oh yeah, just stab me in the back of the head with this big needle, upload my brain consciousness into the computer.
Yeah.
Right? And
Sure.
it's just crazy, I think.
What do you call that science of the brain? What do you call that?
Neurology?
Neurology? Yeah. Okay, this has been going on for a long time. We had propaganda of it in Silence of the Lambs, right? Where Hannibal opened up that dude's fucking head and started eating his brain. All this propaganda of it. And that is the idea, though. Like, if you were the top humans on this earth, and you know you couldn't go anywhere else, and you didn't believe in a higher source like God, and you wanted to play, and you owned all the money, so you could create any fucking money that you fucking wanted, right? And if you could make people dance, wouldn't you do it just to see what happened, right? Like it's a huge fucking play.
Yeah, they're fucking, they're fucking with us. They're seeing how much again, part of me is like, are they fucking with us, or are all these people in on it and they're just trying to get me to fucking bend and break?
You have to bend. They will never be forced. That's right.
You actually heard that China is now mining the moon.
If they can get
Anyone
us
hear
to
that?
bend our mind, if they can get us to bend our mind to believe that China's mining the moon, and that we need the vaccine so that we can get better and get our economy going to counter that mining. Like, okay, we have to go back to the moon, but our economy's so low now. Oh shit, we got to get the vaccine. Here we go, right? It's just mental manipulation, dude.
Well, we've run out of rocks here on Earth. Right? We need them from
I
the
thought
moon
we had
now.
the rocks already, yeah.
Right. So we've got to get them from the
What's so great
moon.
about moon rocks anyway? Like, why would you go all the way there just to grab some rocks?
Oh, they're lighter, Chris. They're lighter.
Oh yeah, they're 1/6, right?
Yeah.
Picture how light you can make like fucking houses.
Exactly.
and they only picked up ones that would fit in their hand because they were so heavy.
Oh my
He could have
God.
picked up almost a car, right? Like a car size rock. Like, oh yeah, 1/6 gravity. Here we go. Take it over to the lander. Like,
How do you
where am
buy
I
an
going to
80
fit that? Yeah.
How would you buy an 80-pound bag of moon concrete? Like, and how much would it weigh?
Do you only pay 6 of the price for that per kilo?
Bro, this is so crazy, man. They'll believe this. They'll believe 100 pounds is 40 pounds.
I bet you the mining station is going to be on the dark side of the moon. No, we won't be able to see it.
Yeah, Chinese one.
That's China's side, the back side.
That's China's side. That's where their flag is.
Yeah. Can't go anywhere near the American flag.
The Chinese flag is a pretty cool looking flag compared to the American flag.
Yeah, but their boots, the print of their boots is different, so it wouldn't look cool, on like photos. If you have two different boot prints.
I wonder what the duck step looks like on the moon in moon dust. What's that look like?
Bro, it's so. I'll never. This is what makes me think these people are like in on. There's no way, normal. I don't know, man. It's so crazy that people can. Oh, we went there into that thing and we grabbed a handful of it and came back.
I like the idea that there are people out there wanting to play the omnipotent, right? The God. We'll call it God. But not the God, but God. They're wanting to play God. Why not? They control the money, they control the language, they control the law, they control the authority, they control the enforcement, they control everything. Why not? Why not create a reality? Wouldn't you do it? And isn't that what we were taught that the Greeks did, right? With their shows in the amphitheater, right? The amphitheater, the half dome there, the amphitheater. That's what they did. They created shows for the people, and the also where the gladiators were fighting. You know, you put on shows for the people. That's all you do. Just put on shows for the people, make them happy. People go home. They're poor as shit, don't have food, but they pay you taxes, they pay you money, they work for you, whatever you want, and everybody's happy as long as you put on that show. It's still the same.
Just a little bread and a little circus.
Exactly. Now, Brandon, why are they so hardcore on the vax? I don't know if there's anything in it. It is a submission thing, a subjective thing. Do you want, like, how many people will actually fucking submit to this? How many people do we have under our belts, right? They tried it with the election. There's a contention going on there. 2 days later, they're like, oh, the vax is here. How many people are going to submit to the vax, right? But the vax is worldwide. The election was nation. Now the vax is kind of worldwide. Let's just see how many people we have, right? And already I see all my fucking neighbors just lining up to go fucking take a vax or whatever. Like, dude.
Is this the line to get injected with cancer? Okay.
Yeah.
I say it all the time, bro. People wouldn't take an open soda from a stranger. They'll take an injection from one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. From some dude in a white coat. Actually, not even some dude in a white coat. You're waiting in line from like this cycle through like small office. We're like, okay, a vax station, right? So you walk in one door, you lay down, get vax, and walk out the other door. It's like It's not like a doctor's office. It's not professional. Nothing, nothing that you would feel confident about. But people are lined up, right?
It's like steroids, right? Like people who want to get jacked or strong, but don't want to work out. Oh, just get the injection.
Exactly.
Oh, you want to be healthy? Oh, you don't got to eat right. You don't got to exercise. You don't got to be a healthy weight. Just get the injection.
Just want to look big, man. That's all. I can't lift that much, I'm jacked.
I'm not trying to live to 100, bro. I just want to look good this summer.
Exactly. Sun's out, guns out, boom.
Bro, man. We're the dying breed, man. I'm telling you. This where they were idiocracy. Soon, and I'm gonna be Einstein, right? Because I know when it's gonna rain because the sky is dark. How did you know that the sky was dark? Because I can see it. I can see it up there.
Time,
bro.
yeah,
time. It's amazing.
Give me a minute. I'll tell you it's gonna rain. Give me 1 minute. Time. There we go.
How can you predict rain without a model, Aaron? Seriously.
A neighbor.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, or just observation. Like, if I see a storm cloud rolling in, I'm gonna predict rain. Right?
Really?
Yeah.
How long?
I could be wrong 90% of the time, just like forecasters on the TV are wrong 90% of the time. I could be wrong just like them, but I'm still gonna predict it if I see it coming in. I'm be like, yo, it's about to rain. Pack everything up. Let's go.
I could be 100% accurate within 5 minutes, right?
I'll give you the
Well,
weather.
you'd be the best forecaster ever.
Well, how do I know when to milk my cows if I don't have a model? How do I know?
Dudes on TV can't even get it right. You know what I mean?
What the hell?
A good rule of thumb is in the morning.
Red clouds at night, sailor's delight. Red clouds in the morning, sailor's warning.
That's what they say.
Everybody's competent now. They're useless little babies. Look at this fucking.
Look, I've tuned into Ranty's weather channel.
AFA.
What's up, Effie?
There you go, boys. It's a beautiful day here. How you going?
It's magic, isn't it?
Blue sky, 30 degrees. Living the dream.
Oh, roadblock up ahead. Where's your dream? Sorry.
It's just another day, Aaron. Just another day. Another day, another roadblock. Yeah, living the dream. It's just not my dream.
Whose dream is it? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a really. Did anybody catch Crow 777 yesterday?
No.
Really interesting guy. Really interesting guy who was interviewing, and just a concept. He's talking about God-given rights and a couple of different aspects of it. He said, number one, basically everything evil boils down to theft. So if I steal your television, I'm depriving you of a television. If I hit you, I'm depriving you of good. If I hurt you, I'm depriving you of good health. If I crash into your car, I'm depriving you of the quality of your property. If I rape you, I'm depriving you of the ability to have consensual sex with who you choose. And he boiled everything down to theft. You're actually, in anything bad you do to somebody, you're stealing something from them. And he said the Earth is basically a prison planet for thieves until we can figure out that other people have God-given rights and we shouldn't violate them. I thought, that's interesting. But the other thing he said was that these rights that we have, these God-given rights to life, liberty, defend your, self-defense, the right to travel around, to be able to move freely, to speak freely, all these other things. He said, do you have the right to take those rights away from somebody else? And the obvious answer is no, you don't, because that's their God-given right. So he said, at what point do we deem it okay for us to collectively vote to give the power to somebody else to take those rights away from us, i.e. the government? So somehow we would all say that, no, I don't have the right to take away your right to defend yourself, Aaron. But we somehow all vote for a government that then decides on our behalf that you can't defend yourself.
Mm.
It's all about. It's like they can do what we can't, right? Like they can steal, but we.
Well, Rathan, let's go back. Let's go back to the where Effie just started when he's like, if you do this, then you're causing that, right? So, Effie, I can't remember all the things you said, but there's one law that covers all that. It says, "Do no harm." Do no harm.
Yeah, exactly.
To your fellow man. Okay.
No harm.
That's right.
Yep.
But okay, now if you do, if I take your land, I'm trespassing. If I take your car, I'm stealing, whatever it is, right? Anything, just don't do harm to other people. That's it. Now let's go up into why can a collective group of people decide what harm is to a less collective, a majority to a minority, right?
To a minority, yeah, exactly. We hand that power over.
To me, it's all this, right? Because it's like
a silly
God,
question. Why, Aaron?
God can, right? Because He knows better, and that's what the whole thing is. And it'll be like, oh well, the government we can kill because we just know better, right? So they're just trying to separate them from us. Like they would never do wrong, and even when they do quote wrong, it's for the greater good. It's just the same thing that they say about God. Oh, yeah, God can kill, but it's for the greater good, so it's not a wrong, right? They're just declaring themselves gods among men.
Yeah. But we usurp God,
and
in that we hand the power over. We take the role of God to then delegate that right to other people to deprive other people of their God-given right. We don't have that right individually to deprive one another, but somehow we deem it okay that we hand that right to someone else to, for example, steal from you by saying, you put in a day's worth of your labor for reward, but you must give 30% of it to us. That's theft. I don't have the right to say that to you as an individual, Aaron or Chris, but the government can say that to us because we all voted to say that they can. But it's irrational. It's illogical.
There's a long existing idea within communities, even in the United States, but generally more in the non-first world countries, where if a wrong is done, right, the local community gets to decide the punishment for the wrongdoer, or if the wrongdoer is even guilty, they'll decide that first, and then say the punishment. So, let's say there was a theft, right? So, and we see that somebody stole something. The elders or the local community, and when I say local, I mean like 6-8 people, right? Families get together. A bike was stolen or something. All neighbors, and they're like, "Yep, that's the bike that was stolen," and "Yep, that's the neighbor," and "Yep, somebody saw him do it." Whatever. Okay, what's the punishment? Well, the punishment might be cut off his foot, so he can't ride a bike anymore. Give me my bike back. You can't ride a bike anymore, right? They're pretty harsh punish. But theft, cut off the wrist, right? Cut your hand off. That's kind of how we've heard these ideas, right? Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of thing. If you rape my daughter, the dad gets to kill you. I get to kill you. You know what I mean? Kind of like that. Now, that's not civil society, so we don't always follow that kind of idea, but that still rings in our mind. Like, if you have a daughter and some dude rapes your daughter, I don't want some collective judge to rule whether or not this guy's guilty or not. I want to fucking kill that guy. Straight up. And sorry, lucky dog. So why would we ever collectively, why would humans ever collectively get together and vote for people to write rules for us about how to live? And if I don't follow
you are
rules,
in the minority, Aaron.
And
you
if I
are
don't
in the
follow
minority.
if I don't follow those rules, I get fined. Okay, so it's a civil punishment. I don't get my hands cut off or my my tires slashed or anything, right? If I don't follow those rules, I just have to get fined, right? So I have to pay money, which means I have to use labor to go get the money to go get my car out of fucking impound and then pay the fucking court and pay all these unjust people who don't even listen to an argument whatsoever anyways, because it's already biased towards they want the money. That's it. Like, why would we do that?
Because you're in the minority. Jesus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Like it's a silly question. Why would we do it? We ask for it.
Yeah. He was saying, like, the original conversation came out of the word, like, they were discussing anarchy and how the word anarchy, the meaning of it's been hijacked and given a negative connotation intentionally, you know, partly through the Sex Pistols and the punk rock genre of music. He's saying, yeah, this is because anarchy, he broke it down, the etymology of it. He said, and it comes from the Greek, and just means without, and you know, whatever the back end of the word was to do without leadership or without something. In other words, you're not servant to anybody, as opposed
Exactly.
to, you know,
That's all it is.
back in the medieval time when you had the kings and the serfs and the, you know, the peasants and whatever. Anarchy simply it's not without order. It's just without servitude.
Sure,
So,
and that does not imply that you can't have self-responsibility, self-obligation, local obligations, local responsibility to the folks around you. I'm looking for other words besides responsibility and obligation. Dedication, just like serving your local community.
sense of
You
community.
don't need a fucking leader for that, and that is anarchy. I'm Ann without a fucking leader. We don't need it.
Yeah. He said what we've done in our system of government now is we've voluntarily placed ourselves back into that servitude role, to, instead of a king or a robber baron, a landholder, we've placed ourselves in servitude to oligarchs or local government or whatever. It was an interesting, unpacking of modern society and how we don't really live in the freedom that we think we do.
When have we had freedom?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
People talk about the good old days. Like, what was the good old days? What was so good about the good old days?
All I can say is, I think you have the freedoms in which you take. Like, I want to ride a dirt bike to work, so I do, right? I don't see anybody else on a little dirt bike. I'm the only in Gainesville. I am the only one in a million. I've been stopped by cops. They say, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to work." And they're like, "Okay, see you later." I get on my way. You know, they say, "Oh, you gotta have licenses and registrations and stuff to have a business." I got clients. I work for people. I was at a house today cleaning gutters. I didn't have a license, So it's all about, they create this thing, right? And they're like, "Oh, it's all verbal. It's all your consent. Even income tax. You have to fill that out. You have to tell them how much money you made so that they can take their share."
Yeah, of your money. Yeah.